baby, a 61 is looking good now. A nice mondo pile of gold in there. It had very little dirt left in it, but we got it out. There you go. Yeah, it's got a little bit of gold in this material too, and quite a bit of debris. I got them both jacked up on the 12 setting, so it's on 12 millimeters this way. So yeah, nothing's gonna move, hardly, except the latest junk. Hey folks, this is what's gonna be in the 61's box. You're gonna have your pump. It's got a little cautionary note in here. It says, hey, I can't take the heat. Yeah, it's a 3D printed product, so yeah, if you leave it out in the sun for too long or in your car dash or something, it's very likely it could be warped or somewhat melted. So don't do that. Yeah, it's going to come with a Garrett bottle. This comes with just a couple accessories here, a couple brushes and a little tiny magnet, and of course the tilt plate, so you can jack it up on one side or the other, and that's what of course gives it some versatility instead of just sitting there at some angle and watching your gold go over the side. That's right, it comes with a tube. It comes also with tubing in here. You might be able to use it, but yeah, it's in there. And then here's the box, of course, and yeah, it's looking mighty fine. Yep, the gold cleaner 61. So yeah, it's over twice as wide, you know, roughly 4 inches wide by about 8.5. Of course, it's got a bunch of the little material captures there, and then of course all your tailings go right down the end here, and your pump snaps right on in there, just like that. Just like this one's running. So yeah, that's what's going to be in the box. A tilt plate, a few accessories, the Garrett snuffer bottle, a little warning note, the pump. Yeah, I might throw something else in there for you. Who knows? You never know, man. That's right. But that's what's basically going to come, just like that. Now, one thing I just want to show you, and I'll show you on this big pile of gold because you can see it easy, is as we lower things down, you can see that there's no gold basically moved at all there, right? But I'm going down to 9 millimeter. Basically nothing, right? Go down to 6. Now, real fine gold, you know, this has got a little bit of fine in it, but that might start moving. But the same technique, you have to understand, will work with your fine gold, you know? So you have to think about this point. Now I'm going to go down to 3. I can see one little piece of gold wiggled out a smidge, but that's about it. So I'm gonna go right down dead flat. So now we're flat, just sitting flat on the table. And this is basically where the water is pretty uniform. You know, it's pretty the same thickness, in other words. You got a good solid flow. So if you have, you know, a bunch of material here, let me grab a little speck of material here. There's a little bit of dirt, basically. It's going to keep moving, right? Of course, I didn't have it wet or nothing. I'm just showing you. That's why you know these are real videos. I don't do a bunch of magic, you know, to convince you how fast it all is, and yeah. So you can see this material still clung pretty good, but some of it's moving, and it will. It'll continue to move. We have this tilt plate, and so we can jack up the rear side. It's going to go up 3 millimeter, just like that. And this material will get a little bit more frisky here now. As will some of the gold. Some of the gold may kick out of there, right? But just like as with before, poke at it a little bit. You don't see any gold in there? That might be a piece of gold or something. I get my glasses on, I can't see. I just realized I cannot see. Okay. That is a hunk of pyrite, about 99% sure. You can always jab it with your finger nail like that. You see how it disintegrated? Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, pyrite. Yeah, it's pyrite. So I'm gonna get this off here. I was just using it for an example. But I want to show you a technique that works that I don't want to mix my gold up with because I already got it clean. I already got it pretty clean, right? So I haven't done anything, but you can see this little piece of gold here migrated to this point. It's not back up here in the pile. Same with this guy. And a couple of these guys kind of worked themselves out. This guy here kind of worked itself out. It's wiggling over here. I can see it wiggling still. And so at this angle, it's going to want to go, right? But one thing you have to remember, thinnest water, the thinnest water is right up here now, right? Because we got 3 millimeter angle on the backside. And of course, that's the most aggressive water because it's got all the eddies beating on this gold, and it's at an angle where it should want to come out. It's going downhill. And so, but the water on this end is deeper, right? Because we're at an angle. And so as you tilt it, the water level, of course, is going to get deeper and deeper on this side, which makes a dead pool of water. So it's aggressive up here, but it's dead down here. Now you can see a little of the gold has moved. It actually moved down about this little piece here, about 1 inch from where it was. A couple little pieces over here. I'm going to go up another to 6 millimeter. So now we're at 6 millimeter. Now it's really going to push hard on this gold. And of course, pieces of gold are going to migrate down towards this way, this direction. And so you can see again, now I can see a couple more smaller pieces here. This guy's not gold. That's a rock. So we got another rock out of it somehow. Yeah, it's about a 1/4 inch deep now here. And then right up here, of course, it's real thin, you know, maybe 1/16 or something, or 1/8. But I can see gold all the way down to here now, migrated, right? Now let's go up another notch. We're going to 9 millimeter now. So now we got a very aggressive angle. We're going to be pushing some of this gold down towards our tailings, but you won't lose any gold. The reason for that is we got this dead pool of water down here, right? The gold is not going to move past about this point right here. I can see all the, all the reflections wiggling and all the eddy currents, and I can see the gold actually all the way down to this point now, right to here. It's a piece here, a couple of pieces here. There's a nice round piece there. That one's probably going to round and roll. And then there's some pieces here, and so we got gold about a little bit past halfway now, actually, in here. But this water's dead down here, right? You have to understand this point. Now let's go up to 12. So now we got super aggressive water up here, and it's wailing on our gold. I'm going to poke our gold a little bit here. And the bristle flew off my brush. That's a nice feature. I'm going to poke at it a little bit here, see if there's any more dirt in it, for one thing. It's pretty dang clean. But look at this. This is one of the beauties about this unit. This works with ultrafine gold and the heavier stuff. I'm showing you heavier stuff so you can see the stuff. It's down to here. That's where all the gold that has migrated down due to the fast water up here that we're really nailing this pile of gold up here. But as it comes down here, it's thin, 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 and then boom, right here, the water's starting to pile up. And of course you get down into this range and it's totally dead. It's very deep, for one thing. It's maybe almost a 1/2 inch deep down here now. And but if you have dirt on here, it's going to also do the same thing. And of course, as you're doing this, you'll have dirt that'll accumulate. There'll be enough dead water down here where that dirt will stop right in here somewhere. And then on 6, it'll be a little bit further back. 9, a little more, and 12. This is where the gold got to, right to here. But it won't migrate any further. And the reason for that is water's dead here. Okay, that's one of the special features of this thing. Is as you're cleaning your gold, and if this was super dirty gold, we'd have a lot of material down here. You can see there's actually a piece of material right here that is not gold. Piece of dirt. There's another piece of dirt right here. So, yeah, so you can carefully look through your gold and look through your tailings and make sure you don't have any gold in there. And if you do, Of course, you can sweep them back up. They'll come back down. But you know what they're going to do? They're not going over the side. They're stopping the dead water. This is dead water down here. So that's one of the features you can do. When you first put your material on here, you can set it up this way, you know, so you got dead water down here, or the other way is what I recommend. Going uphill is the best way to get your gold clean. Let's put this on the other side here. Just like I showed you, I'm going all the way up to 12. So being up to 12, this water now down here, even though of course it's being beat a little bit with the header, you know, the Eddie header, the Eddie Vedder header. Yeah, and so you can carefully sweep your gold straight back on up, especially if you have more material in it still that's not gold. You want to get it up there a little bit and get your gold back near the main pile. And then of course you can fuss around with it and poke at it a little bit more to get out some more of the tailings. And as you clean it, again, you go down. So it's a little bit more aggressive, a little more aggressive, and a little bit more aggressive, and until you're flat. And that's pretty aggressive there. That's usually will move gold a little bit. Here's a piece right here. So it's moving some gold here. Very light small gold, it will move for certain if it's flat. You can counteract this by adding a little bit of water too. If you fill it up with a little bit more water, what'll happen, it'll deaden the whole thing because you got more water in here, so it'll be consequently just deeper. It'll hit the edge here, of course, and deaden up into a pool down here and keep your gold from blowing over. So between the depth of the water and the reverse angle, or the normal kind of forward angle where it's very aggressive, thin water, and then of course dead water down there, you have almost infinite adjustment to get this thing functioning on your material. Not this, not mine, but your material. And so that's the beauty of this little box. I've thought about this for a while, and a lot of things I discovered kind of after I made it, but I wanted to make a nice little cleanup box like this that was not a big gigantic problem to set up. You don't need a half hour to set it up. You don't need a bunch of water. You don't need a garage. You know, you can do this right on your kitchen table. It's always a good idea to put a placemat or something underneath it, you know. You're gonna be, you know, spilling water a little bit like this, you know, and yeah, you don't want to get anybody mad. And anyway, you could use this thing in an apartment, in a camper, just about anywhere. It can be dry, just sitting on the shelf like this. No water in it, no gold or material, just rinse it out in your pan when you're done and then put it on your shelf. You can pull it down, add roughly, on this guy, it looks like about 24 ounces of water to get it where it's kind of gonna be okay, but it's up to you to add maybe a couple extra ounces water or maybe an ounce or two less of water to get it to your sweet spot for your material. And that's one of the features of it. But you can literally set this thing up and set it down, pour in your 24 ounces of water, 2 or 3 drops of jet dry, plug it in, and go. And go, right there. You don't need a gigantic 5-gallon tub, you know, a garage, you know, some kind of giant workspace, slopping water all over the place. You don't need it. I built this for people that would not have those things available to them, maybe limited space. Maybe you don't want a big old tub full of garbage everywhere and have to set it all up and take, you know, half of your day to get your gold clean. Maybe you want to just throw it on your table and do it for a few minutes in the evening after you get back from running a little bit of material at the river. That's why I made it, for you guys. You get a fancy snuffer bottle and the bigger unit, you know, 4 inches wide by roughly 8.5 inch plate here. And with all the versatility of it. So anyway, there you have it. We love you, baby. You have a great day. I do love you, man. Yes, the 48 busting that material out of there. It's running dead flat there. Getting that gold out, huh? Sure is.